Coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Hope everyone is having a good day. Just having my morning cup of coffee here, my coffee with Gino cup, my Copico Blanca. My Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. Coffee, cream, and sugar. This pack right here is like 7 pesos each for me. So 10 of these is 70 pesos, about $1.50 for 10 cups of coffee. Actually, someone had messaged me and he said, "Is Copico Blanca, does it taste better than Copico Premium?" I do know there are several Copico brands like Copico Black and then Copico Premium. I have actually not tried those yet. So I told the person I was gonna buy the Copico Premium and see if it tastes the same. I have a feeling though that this one is milder because the Copico Blanca has a more creamy taste. I know the black for sure that's gonna be like a stronger coffee taste. You know, I've had enough coffee black in my day. I was in the military before, 20 years in the military, and that's all we drank in the military. Those big containers, like where they just throw coffee grounds and they make coffee. Man, were some of the strongest coffee I've had drank. You know, so now it's like I enjoy like the milder cup of coffee now. Beluz, hey, good morning, Beluz, my good friend in Wyoming, in God's country. He's over at God. I mean, Beluz shares like amazing photos on his Facebook. We are Facebook friends, so it's like I love seeing Beluz's pictures. Those were kind of like the areas. I wish I was able to go to Wyoming. I did visit similar areas like in California, Nevada, and Arizona, but I never made it up there to Wyoming. I wish I did. Especially with Beluz sharing all the photos. I'm jealous. It's just beautiful. You know, those areas just amazing areas. Good morning, Ray, from Tagaytay, my good friend Tagay. I've been watching some of your videos, Ray, so I'm catching up. I'm catching up on your videos. Good morning, Mom Janet, or good evening, good afternoon, and in Chicago, or Mom Janet. Glad you can make the live stream this morning. Lucita, hey Gino, Lucita in the house. All right, Lucita in the house from Maine, my good friend in Maine. Lucita had a nice visit from family and grandchildren, so I'm sure they went camping before, then they visited Maine, so. And we're friends on Facebook too, Lucita and I, so I get to enjoy the photos that she shares on Facebook. Beluz Traveler. Happy Heroes Day. Today here in the Philippines, it's Monday, Sunday in the United States and Canada. It's a holiday here. Leanna didn't have to go to school today. I didn't have to take her to school. National Heroes Day today. I'm sure there's going to be festivities in the Philippines. I'm sure the president of the Philippines is going to lay a wreath at one of the places here where they celebrate military honors and all that. I'm sure I'm going to catch some of that on Facebook today. Facebook is kind of like my news here. It's like I do subscribe to like some news on YouTube, but most of the time I read most of my news on Facebook because people share here. Oh, then let me do the weather real quick. As of 3 a.m. this morning, there was a low area. Low pressure area causes a lot of rain, a lot of thunderstorms, things like that. It's located 365 kilometers east of Maasin City, southern Leyte. So that's gonna be affecting eastern Visayas. We're in western, harder out here. A lot of times, a lot of those low pressure area typhoon storms, they'll hit Leyte, but they usually have a northwest trajectory. They always kind of like, they don't go straight to us in western Visayas. They kind of go, they start going up. Like they'll go up to like central Luzon, like in Bicol, and then hit Manila, then hit northern Luzon. So that's going to be causing rain in Leyte area. It says here, Visayas, our region, Bicol region, like central Luzon, Raga, and Quezon. Low pressure area, cloudy skies, and scattered rains and thunderstorms. And then in our, and then of course, Habagat. Habagat is some monsoon rains. That is still affecting most of the places here in the Philippines. Let me just show you the weather here, like in our area. The sun actually came up, so earlier, it was raining earlier, but now the sun is like bright again. Right there, you can still see a little bit like wet, it's like my car was wet earlier. I might have to wash my car today since it's sunny, but as you can see, sunny again, bright and sunny here in Mancha, Aklan. There's Bumblebee. I'll have to watch Bumblebee. Today might be like my wash the car, wash the tricycle day. Wait till Deanna wakes up. She's my assistant. She's my assistant. Quiet day in the neighborhood here again. Everybody's probably still asleep, sleeping in since a holiday today. I got my order of water here. This is our drinking water here. So I just leave it out here, and the guy, I told him he can open the gate and get these empty containers. These containers are 5-gallon drinking water, and I just put the 100 pesos there because it's 25 pesos per container. So this 4 containers, 5 gallons each, will cost me about $1.75 drinking water. And they come here, they get my containers, they'll clean it, they'll put drinking water in it, purified drinking water, and they deliver it. All for $1.75. That's all it costs for me to get those 4 containers of water. Ooh, mom's plants here are growing. Her papaya here is like really growing, and so is this plant right here. There's that house. Oh, I see Kuya there with this motorbike. There's a guy here painting that house. So I'm expecting a neighbor to move into that house once that house is painted. He's painting the inside and outside. Oh, I see him. He's on the balcony there. I can see his hand. So he's painting on the balcony, on the second floor balcony there. But another quiet day. It's always like this in our neighborhood, especially in the morning. I don't see rain clouds, so it might stay sunny here today. But normally, I've noticed when it's around 5 p.m. to like 6 p.m. when it starts getting cloudy again, and then we get rain. Like in the late afternoon is when we've been getting rain. Good AM. Oh, Fortune's in the house. Hey, Fortune. I was just editing my video this morning, Fortune, of Kumon. I did a video of Kumon in Calibo, so that's gonna be the next video up. Oh, I'm getting comments in my video. See, when I'm doing the live stream, comments get posted. Like I can see Eugene the Jager. Like a lot of people in my WhatsApp, my Messenger, things get posted and I could see it. Thought we had no live stream today. Could have been a sad day. I was just like editing the video. You know me, man. You know, Fortune. I don't really schedule anything. You know, it's like I was finishing the video and then I looked at the time. I said, well, you know, Leanna's still sleeping. Dazzle's still sleeping. Only mom and I are awake. She's having her coffee and pandesal inside. So I was like, well, let me do a video. You know, let me do a live stream while I'm waiting for my assistant, Leanna, to wake up because I'm going to wash the car and wash the tricycle today. And Leanna's my assistant because she holds the hose. She like turns off the water, on the water, and she hoses the car down. I'm the wiper. I'll wipe with soap and then to dry it. But she helps me dry it. And I usually pay Leanna to be my assistant. She likes to help. Likes to help her kuya. I treat her after we wash the car and after we wash the tricycle. I'll treat her to 7-Eleven. She likes that. Yeah, especially since I felt, wow, broke that. Sorry to hear that, Mom Janet. Be careful, be careful. You know, we don't need to be falling and, you know, things like that. Just be careful, Mom Janet. Let other people do stuff for you. I know that's hard. Like even for me, Dazzle, Leanne, and Mom, they do pretty much everything for me. They don't want me lifting stuff. They don't want me cleaning stuff. But you know, it's hard. It's hard. You know, I've done that all my life. It's like I'm an organizer. I like organize things. I like to clean things. You know, but. I have to pace myself, you know. It's like I don't have the same endurance, and they're always like, "Oh, you don't carry that, you don't carry that." So I have to watch myself too, you know, a lot of times because it's hard when you're like that all your life, when you're like the busy person, like doing things, and then you can't do a lot of things because I tire easy. You know, the biggest thing with me is I don't have the same endurance that I used to have. Was watching the comeback. Oh, Alea, the female tennis player. All right, Filipino tennis player. U.S. Open. What a game. All right. I'm going to have to catch the replay. Since it says what a game, you know, so I'm going to have to catch the replay. I'm a tennis player. Back in the day, I used to play tennis. Now, I still enjoy pickleball. I love pickleball because pickleball is a lot easier than tennis. I don't have to have the endurance to play pickleball. You can just kind of stand and volley on pickleball. That's why I like pickleball now. All right. Tennis. Mom Janet's a tennis. See, Mom Janet and I got a lot in common. Yeah, I mean, you know, we served. You know, she served in law enforcement. I served in the military. We play tennis. You know. That's awesome. Since 13, yeah. There's a court here in Calibo, Mom Janet, that I used to play. It's a lighted tennis court in Calibo, and it was walking distance from my apartment in Calibo. I loved it because I didn't have to play in the heat because it's hot here during the day. It's hard to play here during the day, but in the evening time, it cools off a little bit. It's humid still, but at least it's just light. You're not burning in the sun. And it was walking distance from my apartment in Calibo. It's at the capital area. I played there all the time. I kind of miss it, but I know, you know, I better not, you know, I quit playing, you know. Now pickleball is a lot easier. I get the same kind of workout with pickleball. I'm watching. Oh, Alcatraz. Is that a new miniseries or the old Alcatraz? I've seen the old Alcatraz movie with Clint Eastwood. I think Clint Eastwood was the actor. Oh, I thought you were mentioning Alcatraz like that. I'm sorry, man. Like in San Francisco, the tennis player. All right. And Djokovic. I know Djokovic. Alcaraz, I don't know as much. I haven't seen him play, but I do know Djokovic. Oh, great to know, Ma. That you. Michael C. in the Philippines. Good morning, Abe. Good morning, bro. My good friend in Trece Martires in Cavite. Oh, amazing weekend. And Saturday we went swimming at Axam. That was a lot of fun. Leanne had a blast. Yesterday it rained. So we stayed at home pretty much, just watched Netflix. Dazzle and I, we were watching a Band of Brothers because she said, babe, it's leaving soon on Netflix. Oh, I was like, leaving soon. So we started watching it. I think we got to like 5 episodes we were watching yesterday on Netflix. I don't think we're done yet. I fell asleep on the fifth episode last night because it's like about 7:30. I fell asleep watching it because that's usually my bedtime is like before 8 p.m. Gino, please get in touch with James in regards to memberships. We need your advice. Oh, okay, no worries. No worries. I don't know much about memberships also, but I'm learning. I'm learning, Mom Janet. I will. I will contact after the live stream. I'll message James. Our purified water here is also 25. Oh, nice. That's the same, 25 pesos. We usually order 6 per week. It gets delivered also. Yeah, it's nice. I just leave my 100 pesos there for 4 containers. They'll pick it up and then in a few hours they'll return it. The water station is just right outside Camellia, so and there's competition. There's like 3 of them that would like, but we stick with our favorite. Like the guy's been our water delivery person now for many years. So there's other 2 water stations that open, but we stuck with him because he's a good guy. We like him. Good morning, Ma'am Janet. Hope all is well. You know that you are in my. Oh, yes, yes, of course. You know, we're always praying for Mom Janet. Make sure Mom Janet is healthy. I will wait for the Kumon vid. Yes, it's tonight. It's tonight. It's I edit it. Once I edit it, it saves it, and then I'll upload it. So that will be the next video. Is the Kumon video. And Leanna's had 2 sessions already. She's had 2 homework assignments. We were in the beginning. I was thinking of taking her to the Kumon every Saturday, Fortune. But when I went there that Saturday, there was just too many kids there on Saturday. So I told Leanna, we'll just do it Tuesdays and Thursdays. So right after I pick up Leanna from school at 4, we just go to Calibo, straight to Calibo. We get there about 4:30, and then we're usually done in like an hour and a half. So by 6, so we can eat at Pastrana Park, at Jollibee or McDonald's. You know, we can eat and then come home. So it's not too late. It's not too late for us. And what I do is like while Leanna is at the Kumon Center, I just walk around Pastrana Park. I actually did a video, you know, at Pastrana Park just because in the afternoon at sunset in Pastrana Park, it's nice there. You know, it's like a lot of college students from Aklan Catholic College. It's right there in Pastrana Park, and several other colleges, St. Gabriel College. They come to Pastrana Park, kind of like the dating thing. You know how college kids are. They'll hang out at Pastrana Park. They have a lot of food, like the street food. They got fish balls, they got kwek, they got all kinds of the what's that chicken skin, and then they have the a thing here in street food here in Calibo. I've never had it till I got here. It's called baga. Baga. It's like it's the lung. It's the lung of the pork, I guess. And they put it on a stick and they fry it, and then it has like a sauce, spicy sauce that comes. I mean, it's delicious. You know, it's like I've never had it before I came here to Aklan Province. Oh wow, competed. I never got that good. I never got that good, Mom Janet. competition like tennis, but I played it for fun. I played it for fun. When I was in high school, I ran cross country. I was always a good runner. You know, it's like a long distance, like 5K, 10K. I've always been a good runner. But I wasn't good enough for tennis for our school. Man, there were some serious players at Long Beach Wilson High when I attended Long Beach Wilson High. Awesome players. I think some of them were like ranked in the top 100 in the U.S. like 18 and below at the time. So I would watch them. It's like no way could beat these guys. Are like hammering serves like you know. It's always an advantage in tennis when you're taller. I think when you're taller. And I had when I was in high school, I was maybe 5'7", 5'8". Now I'm 5'10". But I had classmates in high school, and these guys were like 6'3", 6'4" already. For it's a different routine when it's a holiday, and like, oh, okay, all right, Fortune, just enjoy your holiday. It's like holidays meant to be a day off. Just enjoy. No work today, no work today. Wow, Mom Janet came in second place. All right, wow, that is awesome. I bet you're an amazing tennis player then, Mom Janet. I've been studying up on Rizal, Bonifacio, and Aguinaldo. Oh, I just that was just part of my video. I included that. I included that on the video, Ray, because up Pastrana Park, most parks in the Philippines, especially like here in the province, like a lot of the municipalities, a lot of the towns, will at least have Jose Rizal as a statue. And at Pastrana Park, they had Jose Rizal and Bonifacio. So I filmed that while I was walking around Pastrana Park. I didn't know there was so much history in the Cavite area. Oh yeah, yeah. Those were like the rebels, like the Filipino revolution. It's like in Cavite, man. I'm sure you can find historical places near your area, Ray, for sure. Same thing with me. My province in the Philippines is Bulacan. Bulacan is near Manila, going north to Pampanga. But Bulacan is like in our history. They all actually had what's called the Malolos Republic. Malolos is a part of Bulacan, so a lot of history, a lot of like history in Bulacan, my province, and also Cavite. Cavite, a lot of history. Oh, nice, nice. Good topic. Awesome topic, Ray. Awesome topic. Oh, speaking of topics, let me. Today I came up this morning. I woke up this morning and I was just trying to think of a topic, and this popped in my mind. This popped in my mind. My topic for this live stream I was just gonna discuss is live your life, stop comparing. Throughout my life, I was guilty of this when I was in the United States. When I was living in the United States, I would buy things that I see. They advertise so much stuff in the United States that, like I had Air Jordans. I drove a sports car. I had a Ford Mustang. I like clothes. I was buying branded clothes in the United States. Tommy Hilfiger, you name it. It's like because that. I was young, I was in the military, I was making money. And you see it, like, even when I lived in the dormitory when I was in the military, guys would always like dress nice, nice shoes. It's like, oh man, that's sharp. Where'd you get that? And always like that, like always, kind of like comparing with the, like keeping up with the Joneses. That's the word, keeping up with the Joneses. And for me, that all stopped when I retired here in the Philippines because I knew, when I was coming here, I was going to be in a limited budget. I was 45 years old, and the only income that I had coming in here to the Philippines when I was 45 was my military pension. It's a good pension, comfortable living here in the Philippines. I've had a good life here for 14 years. But if I had maintained my lifestyle that I had in the United States, I might have not make it. I might have not been able to like save money in retirement and build a little bit. It's like I was able to buy this house, paid cash for my car, paid cash for a bumblebee or tricycle, paid cash for land that we bought in Katiklan. If I wasn't frugal, if I was still living like the American lifestyle that I had when I lived in Tucson, Arizona, I couldn't put up, I couldn't build these things and have a nice nest egg now, because I think that mentality in the U.S. for me anyway, I was just typical. I was typical of like most Americans. It's like I had credit cards. I would, I was telling Dazzle when I was still working in the United States, I have a military pension and I was working, good paying job at St. Mary's Hospital. So for me, it was always like, if I could, hey, I see something, I like it, I'll buy it, didn't even think twice about it. Like I said before, I had two road bikes. Why do I need two road bikes? One would have been fine, but I said, ooh, I like the other bike. I get that too because I can afford it. I had a mountain bike. I had camping gear. I mean, I had a garage full of stuff. At one point, I had so much stuff in my garage, I couldn't even put my Mustang in it. I had to park my Mustang outside my garage because I had so much stuff in the garage. And it was just me. I'm like, but that's kind of like the life. That's kind of like the life that I know a lot of Americans. I know a lot of Americans because in America, we were spoiled. It's like if we wanted something, we did it. It's like, if I wanted to go Cancun with my buddies, we're going to Cancun. If we're going to go to Vegas, one phone call from my buddy, hey, let's go to Vegas this weekend. I'm like, oh, I'm on, I'm in, brother. It's like, meet you in Vegas, But that had to change. That dynamic had to change for me because I knew I had to live more frugal once I get to the Philippines. And I just want to, it's like I noticed that, since I did that when I was in the U.S., and I still see that here, with the people that I meet here, not just the expats that come here, a lot of Filipinos too, a lot of the local Filipinos here. They're, kind of like the same lifestyle I lived, like in our community here. Most people are well off here. They're not, I would not consider people living in our gated community poor. It's like they own their houses. They have nice vehicles here. Some of the vehicles here, I'm like that. They have the Ford Ranger, the Ford Raptor. They got Toyota Hilux. These vehicles are like 2 million up. Like $40,000 and up. These vehicles. So I know people here have money. So, but. I do see that because that mentality of like keeping up with the Joneses. I hear it from some of my neighbors. Ooh, this so and so just bought this new truck. It's kind of like you hear that, you're kind of, oh, I want one too, kind of thing. But for me, when I retired here, that's just not that big to me anymore. It's like I don't accumulate things anymore. I don't keep up with the Joneses. It's like I'm fine with the things that I have. It's like Dazzle pretty much buys all my clothes from Ukay Ukay, the thrift store. This shirt right here, this Puma shirt, I got this from my sister in Houston. She sent a balikbayan box and she sent me a few Puma shirts. She sent me our Under Armour. But I would never buy these shirts here in the Philippines because these shirts would cost at least 1,000 pesos or more. That's like over $20. For me, I would never spend that kind of money now because, like, I guess I'm older now. It's like the way I look, the way I dress is not that important to me anymore. I was just, like I said, keeping up with the Joneses. To me, life is not a competition. It's like sometimes you sense that with some people. It's like when I meet people sometimes here in the Philippines, the first thing that they'll say, oh, I work here, I do this, my son, my daughter does this. It's like sometimes I didn't even ask the question. They're like, it's like, but I know it's some of that is just like, they want to brag a little bit. They want to, show that they're successful. But to me, a lot, sometimes, people view life as a competition, and it isn't. To me, I've learned that life is not a competition. For me, I want everybody to succeed. I want all my friends, when I'm hanging out with them, I'm like listening to them, suggesting things. But my main thing is like, I just want everybody to be happy and successful, especially in retirement. you know this is kind of like our golden years. Why should there be competition still? We're all retired. Most of the expats I know here in the Philippines, most of us are retired here. We're just enjoying the rest of our life. We're just thankful that we were able to retire. I know that's not a given anymore. There's many Americans. I watch the news. I go to YouTube and watch videos. Retirement in the United States is not a given anymore. There are many people now in their 70s still working because they have to, not because they just want to. It's one thing to just want to work, right? If you enjoy your work, if that gives you a purpose, nothing wrong with that. But I think once you hit your 70s and you're still working just to earn money, to me, it's like, where's the golden years? When is it, when you can enjoy just like staying with your family, taking care of the grandkids kind of thing? When is that going to happen, if you're still working in your 70s? And then what I see with a lot of people, even here in the Philippines, both expats, both Filipinos, people get so concerned of what other people think about them. It's like even on YouTube, you see it. It's like the YouTubers, they'll post a YouTube video and they get hammered by people saying, oh, you make a mistake, you didn't, I would never do that. That's a failure. You're a failure. I'm like, to me, it's like I've always just lived by the principle, like, do you, whatever makes you happy. It's like, why should you concern yourself of what other people think about you? You're always going to have like a critic. You're always going to have somebody that will not approve of the things that you do. It's like, but why concern yourself about that? So for me, as long as I'm doing the things that makes me happy, I prioritize my family. They're like the most important thing to me. I always tell Dazzle, Leanne, and Mom, as long as we're happy, nothing really matters outside of that. It's like, as long as every day when I wake up, when they wake up, we're having fun. It's like we're laughing. Why concern yourself about other people? It's like I said, not a competition. It's like just do you. Do the things that make you happy. Find that hobby that you enjoy here. If it's fishing, go fish. Go fish. It's like, if other people don't like fishing, that's them. Always like do the things that bring happiness to your life. Like I said, we're all different. We all view life as different. Some people consider like money, like their possessions or wealth. They base their success through that. But not everybody does that. For me, I value my success in life with my relationships with people, my relationship with my family, the way I treat them and the way they treat me. To me, that's more important than money. It's like, money is good. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to have money, that we're able to save, that we're financially independent. We don't have to worry about making money. But to me, the relationships are worth more. Those are priceless to me. Money can disappear, right? You can make one bad investment. Your stocks can drop one day. It's like and you can lose money. But to me, the value is like in relationship with the people that you love. It's like to me, those are priceless. When I see Dazzle, when I see Leanne and Mom, just the look in their face that they're smiling, they're happy. That's what it's all about for me. And the last message, regarding live your life, stop comparing, it's just find the things that bring you joy. Avoid the things that don't bring you joy. If there's people that are like, unfortunately, there are toxic people in the world. If you find that stuff, if that tries to enter your life, you can politely, you don't have to be mean or anything. You can politely tell the person, hey, I'm gonna have to like end this relationship, politely, because yeah, you're not bringing joy to my life, or you're not bringing anything to my life but negativity. I know people get offended when you do that. I've done that. I have done that here. But your peace of mind and your happiness is, to me, is worth a lot more than the negativity that a person can bring into your life. It's like a life. I mean, we're in limited time. Life is short. It's like it could end any minute. So why spend that on negativity? All right, that's my message. My message for today. I do, but my family gets tired of me asking. We are a very busy family. The chair gave, oh man, one of the legs. Oh, Mom Janet. Sorry to hear that. Oh yeah, love night tennis. Yeah, that's why, like, even here, my camping chair here, I'm about ready to replace this camping chair. So far, this is a pretty decent brand. I remember, let me see, what's the brand name? Quechua. I bought this at like a sporting goods store. I mean, I've had this now for many years, but it is kind of faded out, but it still works. But I think I'm gonna have to replace my camping chair. I carry this camping chair everywhere. I carry this camping chair even at my doctor's appointment, because my doctor's appointment, when you go to the hospital here in the Philippines, they always have those metal chairs, like really uncomfortable metal chairs. And you have to sit here in the hospital waiting area many hours. I have sat 3-4 hours easy in waiting for my appointment. So I always bring my camping chair. Dazzle always reminds me, hey babe, make sure you bring your camping chair. We're gonna be sitting there for many hours. I've been watching your videos too, especially. All right, Dazzle cooking. All right, thank you, Ray. And yeah, Dazzle and Mom, they're trying to do more of their cooking videos. A guy beat me by one shot, Wow. Nice, Ray, on Cavite history. Lucy, thank you for the prayers. I will need. I'm in medical challenge round currently. Patience and prayer. Yes, we'll sending you prayers, Mom Janet. We're all rooting for you. Albeit we'll be well. We will pray for you. We know. Yes. Oh, there's James. There's James. Hello, Gino. Good morning, James. Are you guys headed back? I know you. I remember you saying Monday you're gonna head back from Masbate. Just be safe. Be safe, my brother and Karen. Be safe on your travels. Headed back. Eugene. All right, Eugene. Hi, Eugene. I'm more not a quitter. I don't like fighting or people who do it. Not for me. All right. Yeah, I'm the same way. Mom Janet. I don't like arguing with people, especially now. It's like I'm retired. When people disagree with me, I just kind of like, hey, no hard feelings. I don't have anything against you, but I just move away. Move away from arguments, disagreements. Yeah, all right, there you go. Mom Janet said, James, Gino will be in touch. James, Mom Janet mentioned about the membership. I'm still learning the membership. Actually, Frank confused me. Frank and Phil, he had sent me memberships. I was like, I thought those people were joining the membership, but I guess there's a feature where a person can buy memberships for other people. That's never happened in our channel, so I didn't know what it was. I was like, all these people were like members here. I was like, wow, it's like, of course it's a blessing, but I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what's going on, but. Taller can position ball from a bit. Yes, the service, especially like Mom Janet, like the taller person, the taller people when I played tennis, they just can hammer the serve. Their serves are just hard to return. But the smaller person, we're pretty good at return the serve, because we're low to the ground. So, I mean, there's, like I said, different perspective of players. Got you. So you will be okay. I asked him to contact after the live. He will call to discuss. All right, all right. Well. With that said, God bless. All right, get some rest. Get some rest, Mom Janet. Thank you for joining the live stream. James, great time in southern Masbate. I know, right? James is having an amazing time. I love watching the videos, James. I could just tell, man, you're happy. You're in your element, brother. You're like smiling. You got the excitement in you. It's like I saw that one where the fish were jumping out of the water, and you're like, wow, they're jumping out of the water. Until then, bye, Mom Janet. Stay blessed, Mom Janet. Should go back with Mike and Kat for rodeo season. Yeah, I remember they had Mike and Kat had gone there during that rodeo. 7-5, 7-6. Ooh, Djokovic. Wow, nice. Close fight on the first two sets, 7-5, 7-6. Bonifacio started the revolution as he founded Katipunan. Normally, the national hero would be the leader of the revolution, but Americans chose Rizal to pacify the Pinoys. So you see his statue. Yeah, I've studied it. We had Rizal in college too, and I understand the dynamic, because Rizal was the educated one. They wanted to like the national hero to be like an educated person instead of like a freedom fighter. Yeah, a freedom fighter. Wearing an Americana suit and carrying a book instead of it, or have a gun and a bolo. Yeah, it's like Americans brought the Thomasites so Pinoys would go to school and be like Rizal. Lucita, mom, all right. When some see, okay, it's not, it's not it's not the bad version in the U.S. No, it's the Katipunan. The Katipunan was opposed to the Katipunan. He was like Martin Gandhi. Yes. Non-violent. Yeah. Rizal was like for non-violent protest. Great man. Amazing story. Like I said, Ray, the books Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, those are the two novels that Jose Rizal wrote. I've read it a couple of times now, a great story. It tells about the abuse of the Spanish rule here in the Philippines. Prepared for the route, but his arrest discovery triggered start the revolution. When you have major surgery, your life is put in perspective. You see love, and then you are just thankful. Yes, I'm the same way. Like that's why I can relate to you, Mom Janet. My battle with cancer, it's like puts everything in perspective for me. It's like. You see everything clearer. It's like you see relationships with people. I have better understanding of life. Once I went through my my battle with cancer, and still battling cancer, because it's not like I'm done. With cancer, it's like it's never away. It's like a constant battle. I still have my MRI coming up again in October, my monitoring MRI, and there's just side effects with the chemo that I'll probably carry the rest of my life. Which is okay. It's like that's just the cards that I was dealt with, and I'm okay with it. I'm still thankful for my life. I'm still thankful that I'm still alive, enjoying life. Never gonna take another day for granted the rest of my life. The Aglipay Church or Philippine Independent Church or Iglesia Filipina, three names, but same church. They were former Catholics who split because the Spanish won't give. Oh, okay. I've heard of it. I've heard of the different those names. I've heard of the Aglipay. I know there's a lot of different churches, different religious denominations here in the Philippines. I've heard some of the things, the ones you mentioned. Here, they have driven the prices sky high. You must budget. Goodwill thrift to. Oh, I know. You know. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing, Mom Janet. Just like everything's just had gotten expensive in the United States. Like that, when I talked about that gentleman from Florida, he was living on $2,000 Social Security. And to me, that's like hard to believe, like I left the United States 14 years ago. If I had $2,000 a month 14 years ago, I know I could live in the U.S. I could find a place in the U.S. where $2,000 would go far. But the gentleman in Florida, he said he was living in a boat. He was like that he owned. He owned a boat, so the dock fees, I'm sure he had to pay the dock fees. But even that he was living on his own boat. $2,000, he said, was not enough for him to live by himself in Florida. That's why now he's trying out Cebu City here in the Philippines. So I understand, and I'm understanding that more and more because the more and more that I help people move here to Calibo, to Aklan province, the more and more I talk to people, even my friend now from Atlanta, he's in Calibo now. When we talk to each other, he just says, it's like getting harder and harder for Americans to reach that retirement, that golden years, like retirement where they don't have to work anymore in the U.S. Many Americans are still working part-time at least just to make put food on the table, is what he's telling me. Pure Pinoy's leadership position in churches, Katipunan, was discovered after a katipunero. I didn't remember that term, katipunero. I never remember that term. Told us about the secret group, but the girl confessed to the friar. The friar, yeah. Fortune, you should come to my live. All right, there you go. Ray. I'm I'll go to the live stream too, Ray. I have a notification for hopefully it notifies me that you're on the live stream. I'll come on. I'll come on your live stream, Ray. I'll pitch in what I know, what little, But I do love history, It's like I studied both Philippine history and American history. My favorite subject in high school, and then when in college, when Dazzle and I attended college, I enjoyed Philippine history. Spot on, Queen. The military authorities, the friar broke secrecy, confession. So during Mass, the priest leads all to pray the act of contrition. Thanks, Ray. Like Gino, I sleep early. Yeah, I do. I'm asleep by 8 p.m. But I'm awake by 4:30, at the latest 5 a.m. Gonna drive my daughter to school, UP Diliman 5. So we're like on the same schedule. We're in the same schedule, Fortune. Gino, yep, we are very alike. My motto too. Chase the joys in life. Amen. Amen. Mom Janet. Why get stuck with like the the stresses, the negativity. We want joy. We want like every day when we wake up. We want people that make us smile, that we're happy to be around. We don't want to be around people that that brings us down. I usually do like. All right, Ray. I'll keep an eye. I'll keep an eye. Expect me to be there tonight at 7 p.m. I'm still awake. I'm still awake during that time. Fresh aloha. Hello, brother. Hello, brother. I love your wisdom. Like I always believe that a candle loses nothing when it lights another candle. Oh, great sentiment there. Great sentiment. So brighten someone's day today with a smile or a kind gesture. Yeah, to me that's the thing. It's like if I can reach one person, with my communications on WhatsApp or Messenger, a little kindness, like, hey brother, how are you doing? I always check on people. Like if I haven't heard from someone in like a month, that's part of our group or part of my youth. I always like private message people and I say, hey, hope everything's so, like a checkup, because sometimes that's little checkup, could mean a difference to someone. One thing I learned, there's people, even though with social media now, even like it's so easy to reach out, it's like I'm hearing from guys, especially in the US, their own kids sometimes, their own family is not contacting them. And I'm like, and that's not a dynamic here in the Philippines. Here in the Philippines, it's all about family. I mean, I can't go with, Dada can't go a week, without hearing from all her relatives here in Katiglan. But I know that's a dynamic that happens in the US. People are just not, they don't keep track of each other. They don't reach out, say, hey, I hope you're doing okay. Hey, I love you, man. Simple thing like that. It's like with social media now, it's so easy to reach out, but I think that's the missing piece. A lot of Americans kind of just do their own thing. Don't they go months, sometimes years, not hearing from their friends, family, relatives. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because when you get older. Like for me, the older I get, I'm 59, I'm not like super old or anything like that. But, when you get older, it's like, it's the relationships that you treasure. It's like my sister's 69 years old. Every time I reach out to her, we're all, we talk on the phone, we're smiling, we're happy to see each other because you never know, she's 69, she's had heart issues, she's got a pacemaker. I'm 59, I've had a battle with cancer. Man, you never know. It might be the last conversation I have with my sister. So every time we video call, we always end it. Hey, I love you, sis. I love you, sis. Thank you for the life we've shared all this time. We always have that. It's like it's unfortunate when people, their own family members, they don't have that kind of relationship. It's like that's unfortunate. But I know that dynamic happens often, and unfortunately happens too many times. It's like in the U.S., not all, of course. I'm known Americans. I have friends in America that they're close to their family. But a lot of times what I'm seeing, that's why a lot of older gentlemen, older single gentlemen are coming here to the Philippines because they don't have a relationship with their family in the US. So they're like, what am I doing here? I'm alone. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's hanging out with me here. So that's why they come to the Philippines, because here, you can come here, meet other expats, the Panay Posse, the Panay Posse, we're here, we'll welcome you when you get here. You got people that you can go fishing with. You got people that can ride motorcycles with, can go, things to do, and that's just, I guess that's just hard to do in the US, is what people are telling me. People just don't want to be bothered. They don't want to like get together. They don't want to, it's like, I guess because of the political tension that's got has to do with it, and I think the trust, the trust issue too. It's like it's hard sometimes to trust people. Here, a lot easier here. Like for you guys that come here, I trust you. When you come here, I'll welcome you to the province here. I'll show you around. Now, if you're not nice and I sense you're not nice and, you stab me in the back, of course I'm going to be like, okay, brother, it's like, I'm going to be easing away from you because you're not a good person. Of course I would do that too. I'm not blind. I'm not like, I'm realistic too. Like I said, I want good people in my life. So if I sense that the person's not good, I'm careful. I'm actually careful when I meet people for the first time. I try to meet them by myself, because I don't want to expose Dazzle, Leanna, or Mom. I want to make sure the guy's legit. Oh, you got to be careful too, right? It's like it could be like when you're communicating online. When you meet the person, it might not be the same person. It might not, do you think it's nice, but you meet them, uh, they're not the same. So I have to be careful. I have to protect my family too. Our family, like Philippine history. All right, yeah, yeah. I already know, Fortune. Me and you are gonna be good friends because we like history. We like the same things. So when I meet you in person, I know we're gonna have good conversations. From UP Diliman, AB in history. Wow. Then a master international relations. All right, all right. One set apiece. Five. Ooh, wow. Tied in the third set. One set apiece. All right. All right. He is history professor. Oh, De La Salle. All right. I know De La Salle. I played De La Salle in chess when I was at Letran, when I was at Letran College. So I know I played De La Salle. I played Ateneo, Trinity. Those were some of the schools when I used to play chess in the Philippines, my elementary years. But De La Salle, that was one of our consistent opponent. The one, the De La Salle, I think it's like, it's near like Harrison Plaza going that area. I remember that their school was located there. I will try to join later. All right, all right. Tie break, tie break. All right, tie break. That's what happened. That's what happened to Aliyah. Won first set, lost second set, third set, came back, opponent, tie break. Wow, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to watch the replay now, Fortune. I'm gonna have to watch the replay now. I'm pretty much got the membership thing figured out. The problem is then you need to make members only content. Yes, yes. You have to make, for us, James, because Dazzle wanted to make videos of cooking videos. And she's done cooking videos before. And sometimes, people get critical. Dazzle doesn't take criticism too well. Not like me, man. Man, you can criticize me all you want. I'm not going to get offended, because I know I'm perfect. It's like I make mistakes. So, but Dazzle, she's sensitive. She's sensitive. That's why she made her cooking show and Mom's cooking show specifically for members, because she knows like our members, when she makes a video, cooking video, they just are happy. They're kind. They might make nice remarks. Sometimes Dazzle, when she cooks, she likes to like put her own spin on it. Like maybe put an ingredient that you're not supposed to put on that dish. And people were like telling Dazzle, "Oh, you don't put that in sinigang, or you don't put that in, you don't put broccoli in." They go like that. So Dazzle, she's kind of sensitive. And I told her, well, just do your videos for the members. And I know the members appreciate it, because Dazzle and Mom, they take their time. They when they cook, and you can tell they got a good dynamic when they're doing their cooking show, because they're funny. Mom, Leanna, and Dazzle, they always make me smile because the three of them got like a cool dynamic, mom and daughter's dynamic. My fellow Gino Pasi, did anyone miss me? Daniel, our good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, brother, glad you made the live stream. Glad you made the live stream. Miss me? We miss you, brother. We miss you. We miss you, brother. Well, I was wondering, where's Daniel? Where's Daniel? Karen and I plan to visit. All right, for the rodeo. All right, James. That's great plan, great plan. Me, I still have to be careful with like traveling. It's like just because like I said, it's like I'm not 100%. It's like I tire easy, and if it's like one day after another of activity, I'll run out of steam. Saying, and then my weekend immune system. I have to be careful. Like when we did the river with James and Karen, then the next day I did the Boracay day trip. The following day, I was like wiped out. It's like the next 2 days I was just resting because once my energy drops, it's the weirdest thing. I've never experienced that because man, I'm an endurance runner. I prided myself being an endurance runner, and then now it's like if I do too much in one day, the next following days I'm like zero energy. It's like I'm laying down. I'm just like real. I don't have enough energy to even walk around, so I have to watch it. I have to watch it. I haven't really traveled much. It's like not even traveled on a plane or a long ferry ride. I've done the Iloilo to Bacolod about 6 months ago, but that's probably like the longest I've traveled since my recovery. So I still have to be careful. It's like Lucita says there. Hello, James and Karen from Lucita. But Bonifacio is almost equal with Rizal. They are national holidays. Aguinaldo Provincial. Yeah, I know, right? Emilio Aguinaldo, it doesn't get celebrated as much as Rizal and Bonifacio, Andres Bonifacio. 1935 Commonwealth. I've read about that. I remember 1935 Commonwealth. Hey, Gino, just got done watching your Boracay day trip. Great job. Oh, thank you. So nice. Thank you, Lisita. I'm glad you enjoyed that Boracay day trip. And I could do that. Actually, there's a couple right now in from Kentucky, Elmer and his wife. We've met them before in Boracay. They told me they were going to be in Boracay till Friday, but it's the weather that I have to watch because I'm also careful driving in the rain. When it's raining, because right now it might not be raining here, but if I'm going to Katiklan, some on the drive it could be like a torrential rain, like in Ibahay or Tangalan. So I'm always kind of careful because here in the province, when it rains, there's a lot more accidents on the road. People don't slow down here on the highway, unfortunately. Cash Bandit. I have a twin turbo Prius and we should race for 10K in your car. Vin Diesel voice. My car can't race any cars, man. My car is like a 3-cylinder. My car is a 3-cylinder. That Wego right there is a 3-cylinder. That doesn't have a lot of giddy up on it. I'm not gonna be racing in that car, and I'm a slow driver anyway. You'll win hands down. I'm not a racer. Peanut Butter Travels. Hey, Peanut Butter Travels. Glad you can make the live stream, Peanut Butter Travels. Old Philippine NCA schools, yes, in Vito Cruz. That's what I was trying to think. I was trying to think. Vito Cruz. I couldn't remember the street, Fortune. But I remember going there. I went to De La Salle a few times because usually it was called like the De La Salle Invitational. I used to play chess at the De La Salle Invitational. They will invite like different schools to their school. I played chess and I played GG too. So I know when you mentioned GG, like games of the generals, I also played because they figure my school, because we were the chess players, they figure we would be good at GG or games of the general, and we were, because it's to me it's the same philosophy, a lot of strategy involved. I'll still be here in the background. Have to make all right, 7-Eleven run. All right, 7-Eleven run. If I don't get back before that and 7, all right. Awesome tastic day. Awesome tastic day. All right, Ray. Thank you, Ray, for joining the live stream this morning. I discovered long ago people do what is important to them. while stationed overseas, I sent all my bros and sis a huge package. Each package cost me about 1 month income. Not one. Oh man, that's I did the same, man. I remember when I was stationed in Korea. You know, when I was stationed in Korea at Suwon Air Base, I was stationed at Suwon Air Base in Korea. Osan was only about an hour by bus. And what was nice at Osan, I remember uh, the gate, the main gate at Osan. When you come out the main gate, I think it was called Songtan City. It's a bunch of like shops, um, clothing shops, and a lot of like bootleg, fake Nikes, fake everything. They were there. They were there at Songtan City, right outside. And my friends and family in the U.S., I remember they would like order like Nikes for me, like jerseys, like football jerseys, basketball jerseys. They would make them there, and it was a lot cheaper than the original that went in the U.S. And I could mail it to them because Korea, you know, it was. I had an APO. I think it's an APO box. Basically, it has APO California. So I was basically just paying postage from California to wherever I sent it in the United States. And actually at Songtan, I remember at Osan, when you buy, like a friend of mine actually wanted a leather baseball glove, a leather, and they make them. They make them right there in Korea. And the baseball glove, I bought it. The people there will box it for you, kind of like a shipping box it, you know, put protection on it. That way it's protected in the box. And you just write your address, my APO box. And he lived in California at the time. I put California. And they ship it right there. They ship it. They had the post, you just get it packaged, go back inside the base, and you can ship it. And that place was busy just because people were doing that. People were like getting stuff at right outside the Osan Air Base and then mailing it right there. That had to be one of the busiest post office in Korea or outside the United States because all the products that they had outside Osan Air Base, amazing products. It's like this, and hats even, you know, like authentic looking hats. You know, they just knew how to I'm sure it's probably the same thing you would buy in the US at the time, but you couldn't tell. I couldn't tell whether it was fake or real. If I had like put the real one, the real like Dodger hat or something, or baseball glove, I couldn't tell whether it was fake or not. They were so good at copying. They were so good at copying. So I know what you're saying, Daniel, about packaging things. I did that, you know, for friends of mine in the U. Because in the Air Force, I remember this was in the 80s. This was in the 80s. People were like, the minute they find out you're going to Korea, ooh, you gotta get me this when you get to Korea. You know, everybody, you know. And back then, Daniel, it was by letter, right? People were just like write letters. Hey, bro, I'm size 9.5. I'm size 10. I want a Nike. And you know, back in the 80s, Nike was like a big. I mean, still a big thing now, but even back then, you know, Nike or Air Jordans or whatever, you know. And it's the bootleg version, but you can get it cheap. You can get it cheap in Korea at the time. See you later, Ray. See you later, Ray. Good AM, Daniel. That's sad, Daniel. If you were Pinoy, you will be much appreciated. Right, Fortune. And that's how I was. When I was in the military, like when I was in Korea, my relatives in the U.S., they were like I said, when I went to Korea, they're like, oh, Gino's in Korea. He can send us stuff from Korea. And everybody, I would go to my mailbox at the base, and I would always get a list of like, all right, Junior wants a size 5 or size 6 kid size, or wants a Dodger jersey. You know, I always had a list from my relatives and friends that were living in California and Texas at the time. Like you said, I was like the hero. I was the hero. I was sending stuff back in the U.S. And they weren't strict back then. I know now, I think they are strict about that just because of like the copyright, you know, the copyright issue. the bootleg stuff coming from Korea. I'm sure they're a lot stricter now, but back in the 80s, this was like 86, 87. They weren't strict at all. They weren't strict at all. We could pretty much send anything from Korea back to the US back then. Hello, hello, Daniel says, Janet, and the rest of you. All right. I miss playing GG. All right. Hey, man, Fortune, if you can get a board, if you have a GG board, we'll play when we see each other. We have to get an arbiter, to see who. It's easy enough to teach someone to be the arbiter. We can even give them a list of like what piece defeats what piece. Like the spy, like the private is the only one that can take the spy. I haven't played GG or Games of the General since I left the Philippines when I was a kid. I didn't play it in the United States. They didn't have it. But I know I can play it. I can play it easy. It's basically putting your pieces, strategizing what your piece is, and then when you take a piece or when that person takes your piece, remembering what those pieces defeat each other. So you can kind of guess like, okay, that's where he's putting on his strength on the left or on the right side of the board. Can you send balikbayan box from Philippines to the U.S.? All right. I don't think you can, Daniel. I don't think you can because I know when you send a balikbayan box from the USA to the Philippines, they're not very strict here in the Philippines on the contents. People send all kinds of stuff on the balikbayan box here, but I know the other way around. I know the US be like picky. They would be picky on what kind of items would be in the balikbayan box. I've never heard it. It probably costs more. But, I know when I hear people, even a little box, anything mailing from the Philippines to send to the U.S., it costs a lot of money. The balikbayan box from the U.S. to the Philippines is just a cheap way of sending things from the U.S. Last time I played was 1993. We introduced the game to our fellow math. Yeah. Anything math, anything math guys always like board games, especially chess, games of the general. And what I've found out too, even in the United States, math guys like poker. Because like me, I played No Limit Hold'em. I've gone to Vegas, played on tournaments. Because when you're a math guy, you can crunch numbers in your head quick, and it's fun. Poker is fun when you're a math guy. The challenge, like playing things in your head, playing the odds. Marichu, good morning, brother. And how are you? I'm doing good. I mean, it's like just doing my live stream this morning. Leanna, I don't hear Leanna yet. She's still sleeping. And so is Dazzle. It's 9 a.m. It's still pretty early for them to get up because they stay up late. They're especially on not a school night. They'll stay up till midnight watching Korean drama. You work in Korea? Yes, I lived in Korea. I was assigned at Suwon Air Base near, I guess now it's Suwon City, but back in the day in the 80s when I was stationed at Suwon, there wasn't much of a city there. It was mostly like rice fields, but now I saw a video on YouTube about Suwon City. I mean, skyscrapers now, buildings, I don't recall that when I was stationed in Korea back in the 80s. Long time ago, I was stationed there. But great memories. I was always a road cyclist, and in Korea, I had my road bike with me. And on the weekends, I would road bike on the different areas in Korea. I saw a lot of cool places on my road bike. I would actually... on the main highway going to Osan City, there was like a road that you can take beside the highway. I would take that. I wasn't afraid, getting lost or anything because like I can always ask the Korean. At the time, I know little bit of Korean like Orincho, Wencho, Yogiyo. So I can always like talk enough Korean to like figure out. And the Koreans were friendly. when I was there anyway in the 80s. Gino was assigned in Clark, Japan, and South Korea. Yes, those were the three Pacific Air Force bases that I was stationed during my military career. That's the thing with GG. You need an arbiter. Whereas chess, yeah. That's the thing. You need somebody to like be the umpire, kind of like the arbiter is like an umpire because the pieces are hidden when you play games of the general. I can't see the pieces, but I can kind of sense by what I take what the pieces are, but they're all hidden from me. The arbiter is the one, like if I take a piece, the arbiter looks at the two pieces. Like if mine was like a captain and I take and his rank is like a lieutenant, the lieutenant loses. It's kind of like military. It's like a military. That's why it's called game of the game GG, game of the general. Great game, great game. The biggest math game play here is my budget. Daniel, the biggest is the budget. That's funny. That's funny, Daniel. That's the biggest math game, right? Your budget. Your budget. LOL. LOL, Daniel. All right, I got to the bottom. I got to the bottom of the comments there. Let me see. I did talk about the weather here. It looks like it might rain now. The sun is not up anymore, so it's not as. The one thing good when it's it's not as warm. It's cooler out here. There's actually a nice breeze here, so I had to put my hat because earlier the sun was like trying to come up on me. Did you figure out what your budget in the Philippines would be? I'm sure Daniel is still trying to figure that out. When Daniel gets here, I will help Daniel with his budget. I will, it's like I tried to do that with Ruben too when he gets here. Ruben's goal, he had goals for his budget too. He's getting better. Ruben's getting better. When Ruben first got here, I told Ruben he doesn't have to tip everybody. That's hard for Americans because when Americans get here to the Philippines, America, it's like a tipping culture, right? Everything in America is like you got to tip somebody. Sometimes mandatory. Sometimes they don't even ask you. They put it like a service charge, or when you like buy something, there's a column that says tip. That's not the dynamic here in the Philippines. Philippines is not a tipping culture. People will not get offended if you don't tip. My friend and I were discussing this. It's not like in the U.S. I waitered in the United States. That was one of my part-time jobs when I was in the military in the U.S. I was a waiter. And when you're a waiter in the U.S., your salary is not even minimum wage. If the minimum wage was $5 an hour, if you're a waiter, they'll pay you $2 an hour, $2.50 an hour, because they figure you're gonna recoup it with the tip. Here in the Philippines, there's not a difference if you're a waiter here. If you're a waiter here, you get the same base salary, same minimum. Everybody that works in a restaurant, they have the same base salary. Like let's say if you work at a restaurant like Latte Cafe, or if you work at McDonald's, those two people, they're gonna make the same base. Like here in the province, supposedly the minimum wage here in the province is a little over 400 pesos, but I don't know how they get around it because I hear people getting less that. But it's not like a tipping culture where the person that's a waiter is relying on the tip. It's not like that here. It's like most of the time when I tip people here, they're like in shock. They're in shock. They're like, what? He just gave me extra money? Like if I get a haircut, I usually give a 50 peso tip when I get a haircut. Most people will get a haircut here. The 100 peso haircut or the 120 peso haircut, most people won't give a tip here. And they won't get offended because tip is not expected. I know in the U.S., it's like tip is expected. It's like I even saw a video. This guy delivered pizza, like several pizza at this like nice home, and he got $5, and he was like got all upset, like calling the person cheap. I mean that doesn't happen here. If you tip, if you get something, Food Panda or grab food delivered to your house, they're not expecting tip. It's nice if you tip. I always tip, but even when I tip, I don't tip like big. It doesn't have to be 15, 20%. Any tip here is appreciated. Mostly the BB is from US, Balikbayan, yeah, Balikbayan box, US to PH. But when someone goes to the PH on the way back to the US, part of the baggage are Balikbayan boxes filled with Pinoy stuff like boy bawang, yeah, boy bawang, burro hope, yeah, 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 yeah. But I haven't seen like the same like balikbayan box where they'll come to your house. In the US, I know. I remember if I sent a balikbayan box to my relatives in the Philippines before, they would come over my house, give me the box empty, and I say, okay, fill that box. When it's ready, we'll come get it. And they'll come get at your house to get delivered here in the Philippines. I haven't heard a company here that does that. Like if I wanted to send a balikbayan box from here, my house, to the United States, I just haven't seen a company that does that. Good AM, HD. Greetings and salutations, HD. Yeah, it's not funny. It's not funny. I plan on $1,000 or less. All right, Daniel. I'll hold you on that budget now. $1,000. I'll hold you on that budget. Doable, man. It's doable. We can do that budget here in a clan, here in Calibo. If you stayed here, I can help you work that budget. $1,000 budget. I figure your budget might mostly be based on the expense. Expenses of Pinal. Now I can control that. That will be up to Daniel. And from experience, a single gentleman when they come here, retiree, $1,000 here in Aklan province, very very doable. The trouble begins maintaining the budget is when you meet the Filipina. When you meet the Filipina, unfortunately, because you gotta date, you gotta like take the Filipina out to restaurants, buy gifts, but I'll help you with that too. I've always said, it's like you got, when you're dating in the beginning stage, that's very important. You don't want to like, it's okay to spoil the Filipina a little bit, but don't overdo it. And then, of course, don't overdo it with her family because, like, I think that's how expats get in trouble, because they want to impress the Filipina, they want to impress the family, kind of show up a little money, like to impress. But you got to remember, if you do that in the beginning of the relationship, they might expect that. They might expect that. It's okay to like take them out to like dinner, maybe the Filipina and their family, take them out to like the backyard here in Calibo. It's a nice restaurant. You'll if it's your Filipina mom and dad, maybe a couple of kids, and you might spend 3,000 pesos, about $55 on a dinner like that. Good Filipino dinner, sisig, lechon kawali, rice, everything, drinks and everything. But you might want to do that one time just to like, hey, get to know the family and all that. But don't do it all the time, because that would hurt your budget. A dinner like that, a couple of dinners like that every month, that could, and then again, they might expect that. To me, when I started dating Dazzle when we were in college, I immediately told Dazzle, I'm here on a military budget. It's like I'm not rich. It's like if you ask even Dazzle, our first few dates in Calibo, I would take her. There's a place here called RML Manukan. It's called RML Manukan, and RML Manukan is a chicken in a sal place. And Dazzle and we can eat at RML Manukan, and it's like 100 pesos for the inasal chicken dish, and I can get her buko for like a fresh buko, coconut chopped, with a straw, 50 pesos. So me and Dazzle on our date, I would spend 300 pesos. And I kind of like that because I was kind of, I wasn't really testing Dazzle. I was just like, I wanted to see, I didn't want to like impress her, taking her to like a fancy restaurant, spending a lot of money because like that's not gonna be me anyway. That's gonna be I'm more budget, So, but she was like really happy, like movie. That was like our favorite. Still today, we like eating at RML Manukan because like it's memorable for us to eat there because that was our first date. Our first date was at the RML Manukan. To me, that's, that was just a, like a suggestion, like Daniel, you don't want them thinking you're like, you got a lot of, money, I know there's some people that do that, because, they want to impress, they want to like impress the Filipina and Filipinas family, but, you got to be careful with that because, you don't want people getting used to that, thinking that you're rich, and then next thing you know, people will be borrowing money from you. It's like JK, JK. Okay, I'm back. All right, Ray's back. Ray's back. He's back from 7-Eleven. I tip everyone as well, especially if it is that I frequent often. Ruben was doing that, Ray, tipping. Now he has learned. I remember Ruben when he was starting to ride the tricycles in Calibo. The tricycles in Calibo will cost you 15 to 20 pesos each. And Ruben would give him 50, keep the change. And I was telling Ruben, dude, you're on a budget. You're retired. You don't need to like be like giving money away. It's okay to tip, but And now he is, and now he's paying the right amount, for tricycle rides. Because you got to make your pension last. You got I'm getting a sugar mama. You're that's funny. No HD. That's there's our Edgar. Hey Edgar. Hey Edgar. Pinayos and balut. Pinayos and balut. Hello Edgar. That's a great plan, Daniel. Rent should be no more than 20K. Yes, no more than 20,000. La Casa Española, right there, right? 20,000 pesos, fully furnished, AC, inverter AC, save you on electricity, Daniel. Hot water in the shower, so I know that's important, and it's the best apartment complex here in Calibo. So you're right there. 10K, that would be great. Yeah. Then budget 1K max per day. 1,000 pesos a day is plenty to eat with. That's like, that would come out to like 30,000 pesos. You won't spend 1,000 pesos a day on food. And you can shop too if you're like cooking at home, if you're making your own salad. You see pandesal is cheap. The bread's cheap in the morning. Yeah, you can save a lot. It's like we'll get you there, Daniel. We'll get you to like having a good budget and saving your money. Morning HD. All right, I want to send dry fish. Dry fish. There's plenty of that. I mean, if you eat dry fish, man, you're really gonna save money here. Dried fish is they're almost giveaway dried fish here. Bro and sis, we'll have to check. We'll have to check about sending dried fish. I know they might be strict. You know how agriculture products, dried products in the U.S. The border patrol, that kind of stuff. We have to check to make sure if you can send them dried fish. I'm sure there's dried fish in the U.S. I'm sure there's Filipino stores in the U.S. that does that. Might be easier than trying to send it in the mail. I guess I have people confused. I got people confused, Edgar. The savings will be for medical emergencies. Yes. That's how I always tell the people that, Fortune, because especially for people that move here, there's no Medicare here, Fortune. Medicare in the United States is an insurance in the United States for people 65 and older. So when I hit 65, I'm supposed to sign up for Medicare. It costs about $185 for me. Daniel's telling me it's gonna creep up to $200 a month just to have insurance, medical insurance in the U.S. It's a government insurance. And for me, in the Philippines, there is no Medicare. So it doesn't make sense for me to like have pay $200 for medical insurance in the US that I can't use here. But I have to sign up because I'm TRICARE, different rule. It's a weird rule with my military insurance. But for Americans that I've known that come here to the Philippines, a lot of them cancels or doesn't sign up for Medicare because that's $200 a month that they can put in the bank, like an emergency fund. So if you can imagine, Fortune, for 1 year, that's $2,400 that they can save a year. So 4 years of saving that $200 a month, that's almost $10,000. That's a lot of money for hospitals here, right? That's a good emergency fund here. And worst comes to worst, if something happens and they do have to fly back to the United States, they can still sign up for Medicare later. There's a penalty, of course, a higher fee and a penalty. But it's not like if you don't sign up at 65, you can't have Medicare anymore. So if you're saving 10,000 when you come, it's not going to hurt you too much to like pay extra or pay the penalty to join Medicare. That's why a lot of people I know anyway, a lot of expats that come here to the Philippines, they don't sign up for Medicare because they know they can't use it here in the Philippines. Not yet anyway, not yet, because there is a law, there's a bill, a bill that's being pushed right now. It's going to get voted 1 October for the FY 2026 budget, United States budget. If it gets approved, President Trump can sign it into a law that will allow Medicare use here in the Philippines. So I'm waiting on that, man. A lot of people are waiting on that because I know there's a lot of Filipino Americans in the United States. That's a big concern for them to retire back here in the Philippines. A lot of nurses that went to the United States, a lot of doctors, a lot of engineers, they're getting up in age in the US. They're 65. They want to retire back here in the Philippines, but a lot of them don't want to retire back because there's no care here for them. So that's a game changer for a lot of people, not just Filipino Americans, but Americans, period. That would, if you can use your Medicare here, man, there's going to be an influx. There's going to be a mad dash over here of Americans for sure. The savings with medical emergency now, if you saved a lot, you can buy other things. Yes. Gino, how good is your Wingman game? I'm terrible, man. my best friend, Gray, Dr. Gray, he calls me like the worst wingman ever, and I am. I'm like, what would I know about being a wingman? It's like I don't go out to clubs or anything like that anymore. It's been years and years. So he calls me the worst wingman ever. And I don't know a lot, even Dazzle, we don't know many Filipinas. Like, I know that's the first thing that people ask us when they come here. It's like, you guys, and you have any friends or anything you can introduce us? And I'm careful anyway because unfortunately I made one mistake already like that. I have somebody here that I kind of, play matchmaker kind of thing, and it went horribly bad, So after that, I promised myself I would never do that again. Even if I know the person here, I know the expat coming in, I just don't want to do that anymore because, like I said, there was an incident that it was terrible, and I don't want that to happen again. It's like my matchmaking day. You know how it is. You see, oh yeah, he's a nice guy. She's a nice, might work, but. I'm terrible. I'm terrible wingman. I'm not a terrible matchmaker. I'm not gonna go into that again. Filipinos are the best wingmen. The Philippines. You'll meet people here. Like I know in Boracay, I have friends in Boracay, male friends that I hang out with, and they met Filipina. And a lot of times, like if you go to like Nigi-Nigis in Boracay or Levantin in Boracay, a lot of those expats with girlfriends, a lot of their girlfriends has other girlfriends, right? It's a good meeting place, at least if you want to meet Filipinas, local Filipinas, local Aklan people here. To me, that would be a good place, a good start. If you want to meet a local here, would be because the Nigi Nigi's bar, always full of expats, always full of Filipinas. And then Levantin is more like it's on the back beach of Boracay. It's just a restaurant out on the beach. It's more family oriented, but again, a lot of the Filipina girlfriends or a lot of the Filipina wives have friends and they bring them there to the Levantin. A good community of expats. It's like they play bocce. It's called bocce. It's like they play a game called bocce every, like, I think twice a week. There's a bocce tournament just to get, expats to get together. And it's not just Americans, Canadians, Europeans, Russians, you name it. It's like Boracay that's one thing good about Boracay. There's just expats from all over the world. It's not just Americans there. My haircut every 6 weeks is 100 pesos. Yeah. Mine is 120, and I get a haircut almost every 2 weeks because I like my high and tight, man. I like to keep it like military style. Fortune. So for me, a little growth on the side, and I'm ready to get a haircut. Usually 2 weeks. I take a haircut every 2 weeks, and it's 120, and then I give a 50 peso tip. I give the tip because he's been my barber. He knows how to. I just have to sit there. I don't have to say anything because when he sees me, he knows exactly the way I like it cut. Dale is my loyal barber. I give it, 50. I'm the same. Me and you, Fortune, we think alike, man. 50 peso tip. That's what I do. When I shop, I just sit down and right? He knows, my barber, it used to be my barber's Nonoy at Pomadas Barberia, but he kind of left Pomadas Barberia to start his own shop. And his location is like not convenient for me. So I found another barber at the old Gaisano Mall, at Gems at the old Gaisano Mall. And my barber now is Jesse. Jesse's my barber now. Don't forget to press the like. Oh, thank you, Fortune, thank you. I remember what I have learned on here. HD, you told me after 30, balut, I will be a ladies' man. The woman will be so impressed that I love balut. They will be impressed. Not many Americans, will that like balut. Most Americans that I know don't like balut, Edgar. So they'll be impressed. They'll be like, what? He likes balut? I don't like balut. Even I don't eat balut, Edgar. I thought it was the titos. One time I was talking with someone while I was in line and they started going over the resume that she was a nurse. That she was a nurse. LOL HD. It depends on how you eat that 30 balut in front of the Filipino. Remember, it's about the sensuality. That's funny. I gotta do this because I can't tell how long the live's been. So I'm getting close to 100 minutes. So we still got time. I gotta make sure I read everybody's. Traveler Mark, Tucson, Arizona nerd, works at St. Mary's. All right, I worked at St. Mary's. That was my hospital when I was at Tucson, Arizona. Filipino American dual citizen. I'm buying a condo in BGC soon. I can't wait to get out of the USA. All right. I worked for St. Mary's Hospital, Carondelet Health Network. I was the risk management coordinator for Carondelet Health Network. I worked at St. Mary's Hospital, but we also supported St. Joseph's Hospital in Tucson, Tucson Heart Hospital, and also we had another hospital in Nogales. Holy Cross Hospital. Those were the 4 facilities that I was in charge of, like all the insurance, all the like property insurance, helicopter insurance, our malpractice insurance for our doctors, just anything to do with claims and lawsuits. That was my job at the Carondelet Health Network. Great memories. I have great memories of my time at St. Mary's Hospital. I had good boss, Annette, Annie, my coworker. They're all nurses. I worked with nurses, and at the end, I worked for an attorney because they had a reshuffle, and I ended up going to the main office, the headquarters office in Tucson. But I love my time. I love my time in Tucson, Arizona. Good memories. I was a road cyclist when I was in Tucson, Arizona. That was like my main entertainment. Like I would train for the El Tour de Tucson every year. Weekends, my Saturdays and Sunday were spent on a road bike, and even on the weekdays, I would ride early in the morning or after work. So it was fun. Tucson for me was fun. I went to Tucson after I retired from the military. I retired from Misawa Air Base, Japan. So after I retired from Misawa Air Base, Japan, I ended up in Tucson because I was offered a job at the St. Mary's Hospital. Already get 3 LTs. Walk pot. SS. All right. I can use the walk pot. Oh, all right. Is it like a cooking thing? A cooking thing you could use, you know. Hey, man, if you can cook your food, Daniel, prepare your own food, you will save money. You know, it's like probably healthier too because you can pick up the ingredients that you put on the food that you eat. Dazzle turned on the AC in the room because it's getting warm out here. The sun is not up. But it is warming up. It was because it's 9:36 already. That's why. Usually by 9:30 here, it starts getting hot and humid. Happy to cook. All right, most of the time. All right, Daniel. That will save you a lot of money when you cook. I'll have to teach you some cooking like Filipino dishes. Like Philippine. I'll teach you how to cook pinakbet, and I'll teach you how to cook mongo. Those are the two. And then poke. I'll teach you how to make that easy to make them. So like 3 vegetable dishes that I can teach you to cook, and you could eat it with rice or fried rice, fried garlic rice, and those 3 vegetable dishes. I think you'll like them if you like vegetables, because people here in the Philippines, they don't eat many like a fresh garden salad, with lettuce, where you put like dressing. They don't do a lot of that here. A lot of other vegetables like bitter melon is a cheap, really cheap bitter melon. It's good for you. The spinach here is water spinach called kangkong, eggplant, lots of eggplant, red onions, cucumbers. So there's enough vegetables here in mungo beans that if you like vegetarian food, that I can teach you. I can teach you how to make them. Really easy to make. Ishi, I might end up a monk. You might end up a monk. I don't know if I end up a monk, Edgar. The first balut, hopefully the vinegar lets me not think about the duck. The duck. As long as it's like, I think Dazzle says 16-day old, the duck is like still like embryo form. So it's not so gross, because after 16 days, Edgar, is like when they start showing beak and hair, it's like, to me, it's like, man, but that's how Dazzle says. 16-day-old balut and under is what Dazzle gets here. It's locally called a kawa. Oh, the big wok, kawa. You can put a full I know, right? You can put I have a picture. HD. I did the kawa bath. It's like a kawa bath where they put water. It's hot water in there. It's like a hot bath, and you sit on the kawa. And I have a picture. And they even put like sometimes like milk, beer, flowers, to make it smell good. The bath, and they even like light up the bottom of it to keep the water warm. They put wood on the bottom, light it. Popular now, very popular. A lot of resorts have a kawa. It's called kawa bath. You can put a full person. Yeah, I'm not sure if Gino had that. Yes, I have. I've tried a kawa bath where they light a fire underneath. And place food in H2O. Yeah, they put like the one I tried HD. They put milk. They put milk and flowers, like nice smelling flowers. But I also know they put beer. You know, I guess for skin. I guess you know. And I was just sitting there. I was just enjoying it because it's like a hot bath. You know, I don't get many hot baths here in the Philippines because we don't have a bathtub. You know, so that was the only time I've experienced like a hot bath here. Beeline, I met my wife here. All right, Beeline, all right. Matchmaker. Guess what classic movie this song? Matchmaker, matchmaker, me a match. Guess. Ooh, I don't know. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that one. Maybe I have, but I can't think. I can't think. That's the sundown. Said hi, Ronald Country Boy. Hey, Ronald. The Bochi, Beeline. Well, one of them anyway. Yes, Sundown. I know, Sundown. They also play bocce there in Station 3. I know they also play bocce there. Matchmaker. Find me a man. Catch me a matchmaker through your book. Make me a perfect match. All right, man. That's a whole song, man. That's a whole song there, HD. Welcome to Gino. Man, no, right. Hey, Ron Navy. Good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, brother. You got to update me on the status. I know you had you filed. You know, you have to let me know, man. I'm rooting for you guys. And then about the business in Rojas City too. Let me know. Just shoot me a message on my WhatsApp, brother. You're your own self-service. Do you miss Tucson? I miss like my friends. I miss my friends in Tucson. But after being here now for 14 years, I like the greenery here. I like the greenery. I mean, I found a lot of peaceful areas in Tucson. I used to hike all the time at Sabino Canyon. I live on the northeast side of Tucson, so I used to go to Sabino Canyon. I like that. I like hiking up that trail. I've even actually run that trail before, you know. So I do miss certain things. Food, of course. I miss some of the food. I don't get a Sonoran hot dog here. That I loved when I was in Tucson. And just the Mexican food in Tucson was good too. The food trucks, the little itty bitty tacos with you put all kinds of stuff in it. The al pastor, you know, I don't get that here. You know, those I miss, and of course the people I work with. You know, like Annie, Rachel, Annette. You know, it's like the people I work with. I miss them. I'm friends with them on Facebook, so we keep track of each other on Facebook. But I do enjoy it more here. More relaxed, you know, because I'm retired here. When I was in Tucson, you know, I had that, I was working, you know, there's pressure. There's pressure with work. And just the day-to-day life, more easier here. When I was in Tucson, I would work, and my fun was mostly riding my road bike, and I would meet people, but it's like acquaintance, right? You know, it's not like my friends when I was in the military, I felt like brothers. Like now here, you know, I have good friends here. My ex-girlfriend keeps calling me because she is stalking my posts on Filipino YouTube. They are always trying to set me up. It doesn't matter that I'm not looking. Yeah, that's the thing, you know, with expats here, when they find out you're like a single expats here, you're gonna be matched. People are gonna be introducing people to, and especially if they find out you're a good guy. If you're a good guy, you're a good qualities, decent guy. You know, it's like don't be surprised if they're gonna try to match you with their nieces, you know, relatives that they know. You know, me, I've just learned. I'm done with matchmaking. Like I said, I had one bad experience, and I got burned. Yeah, I got burned. You know, so I'm not gonna do that anymore. There's plenty of Filipina, plenty of opportunities to meet Filipina here. I always tell people, take your time. You know, there's no rush. to meet a Filipina here. The right Filipina will come in good time. To me, what's most important when you retire here is to establish your life first. Enjoy your life being by yourself. You know, like get your housing secured, get a motorbike, get your hobbies like fishing, get that going on first. Build your life first before, a lot of times what I see is the expats so in a hurry to meet a Filipina and they give up their dream, right? When you come to the Philippines, it's your dream, it's your retirement. But a lot of times when you meet the Filipina, all of a sudden it becomes all about the Filipina. It becomes all about the Filipina building a house for the family, building everything for the Filipina. And then the expat ends up disappearing. His dream of like the retired life here, fishing all the time, riding his motorbike, all over Panay Island, all of a sudden it's on the back burner because the Filipinas not gonna like that. So to me it's like make sure you do your own thing first. Make sure you enjoy the Philippines first. Like I said, there's so many Filipinas here. Eventually you're gonna meet a Filipina. So don't give up on your dream, of retirement and enjoying life here. I think many make that mistake, and of course many make the mistake of like, building the house for the Filipina, building the house, doing everything for their Filipina. And then next thing you know, they're like, the Filipina wants to go to the US. They're bringing it, you came to the Philippines to retire. You came here to like enjoy life. Next thing you know, you're going back to the US. Next thing you know, you're like finding work in the US. I've seen people that dynamic happen. To me, I mean, it's unfortunate, it's like, I know a person that happened to him, it's like, and I look at it, it's like, wow, it's like, he gave up all that, and I know people do that for love and all that, but man, that's a lot to give up, when you're in your 60s already, you're like enjoying life in the Philippines, you built a nice house here, you built a nice life, all of a sudden you're packing up, you're going to the US, and now you're like, looking for employment in the U.S., so. But like I said, we're all different. I mean, love does crazy things to people, and understand that. I understand, it's like, I am almost calvo. So, see, okay, all right. No worries, man. It's like, and then you get closing measure at the end of the haircut. Yeah, massage. I know. I get like a head massage. You always get like a head massage, a neck massage. I love it. He puts alcohol in his hands. Like, I love it. I love the massage at the end. You were Army, Air Force. I was United States Air Force. 20 years United States Air Force, active duty. Impossible for a station event. That's everyone's favorite. Oh, okay. I always, I like Korea, I like Japan. I was stationed in the Philippines because I always wanted to be in the Pacific Air Forces, is what it was called, PACAF, because I wanted to be close to the Philippines. UV is probably high there. Yes, I bet UV is high, man. I gotta like, I have a little bit of shade here, but I gotta get out of here, man. There's a Kawa bath in Tibiao. Yes, very popular, Tibiao. There's Kawa baths now here too, Fortune, in Aklan. Nabaoy River. I'm trying to see if I saw one. I think they had one at Malumpati at the river that we went. Very popular now. The Kawa baths, they're like everywhere because, good money making thing for tourists. Water tubing, yes. Beeline, Sinigang. Boodle on the river. Yeah, boodle fight. Fern salad is yum. I don't think I know what you're talking about, Beeline, but I don't think I've tried it. I don't think I've tried the fern salad yet. You're pretty good. Well informed facts about Philippines. Yes, yeah, Fortune, man. He knows a lot, man. He's my go-to information too, HD. Buy land in Dado Alamada and have big sabong. Oh, I've never been to sabong. I've never been to a cockfighting arena yet. I haven't, and probably not. It's like not my thing. I mean, it's like it's everybody has their own thing. I'm just not. I'm not like I'm not a gambler. I'm not a you know condo now. You want to do a condo now? All right. Yeah, there's plenty. They're building condos everywhere. Pretty soon, they're gonna build condos here in Calibo too. I'm sure condos in Iloilo City, condos in Rojas City. Plot twist: they serve the milk and flour soup to some visitor who pay. Gino, bat soup. I don't know, man. They need to dump that. After I soak it, they need to dump that after I soak it. It's not the. Use bathwater for high price. The song is from the movie. Oh, Fiddler on the Roof. I've not seen that movie. I've heard of the movie. I know it's like a classic, like an older classic movie, Fiddler on the Roof. Hey, friends. Hey, Vegas Will. Hey, Vegas Will. All right, Vegas Will. Thanks, HD Homegrown. Exactly, Gino. I say the same thing. Figure out who you are in the Philippines before adding a relation. See, I'm glad. I'm not the only one thinking like that, and that's how I did. That's how I did, Ray. It's like I was living in Boracay. I lived in Boracay Island for 18 months before I even started college in Calibo, and then when I was in college, I was taking my time. Even to date anyone. I wasn't in a hurry to date anyone because I wanted to like enjoy my life. And when I landed in Boracay Island, 2011, I was doing so many things. I was mountain biking. I got my friends at the Boom Boom Bar. We were like mountain biking, island hopping. I traveled the Philippines. I traveled Southeast Asia. I was just enjoying it. I was just enjoying retirement. And I think we're the same with most people when they land in the Philippines. You want to see as much as you can. I was young when I left the Philippines. I did get stationed at Clark in the late 80s till 91, but I didn't get to see a lot of the Philippines when I was stationed at Clark because during that time they had like coup attempts. They had Colonel Rowe got shot. They got TDY airmen getting shot at Angels. I mean, we were restricted on base a lot during my time when I was at Clark. But so I didn't get to travel even the Philippines. Not as when I landed in 2011. I just traveled the Philippines. It was so much fun for me. I traveled to Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Hong Kong. It was amazing for me. I was enjoying life. I was just like doing what I wanted to do. Relationship was far in my mind because I knew that would complicate my retirement here once I involve like a relationship. That's why I always advise people, just enjoy your life first, build your life, get used to the Philippines. It's a foreign land to you, get used to that living here first. Filipina will always come. There's like millions of Filipinas here. You're gonna eventually meet one. Haha, Gino, I think I know that guy from Texas. All right. I have my big shade hat ready for my trip down there. All right, man. Hey, I'm all about the hat, man. I'm always protecting myself from the sun. Thanks, Gino. All right. But if someone is going to teach me the poke, all right, poke, I'll teach you how to cook that. Filipino girl, all right. I'll let the Filipino girl teach you how to cook, man. I'll leave you alone with the cooking, Daniel. But if you don't have the Filipina yet, man, I'm volunteering my cooking skills to teach you how to cook Filipino. That might impress the Filipina now, Daniel. If they find out you know how to cook Filipino food, they're gonna go like, "Ooh, wow, he knows how to cook Filipino food." That might be an in. That might be an in to a Filipina, man. I know a Filipina will be impressed, Daniel, if you know how to cook Filipino food. That'll be that's bonus points. Bonus points, Daniel. There's a resto in UP called Gubat. Oh, Gubat, like Jungle, Quezon City. They serve ferns. I haven't tried fern salad. Now you guys got me interested. I love salad, man. Now I'm interested in that fern salad with tomato and salted egg plus one ulam. Ooh, man. I need to try this fern. I'm a salad guy, I make my own salad. I can buy less than here, save more, public market. That's kind of like, and then I have my ranch dressing. I have my vinaigrette. So I buy them at SNR. So I'm a salad person. I can eat salad every day. I love salad. Fortune always packed and featured in TikTok. Oh, I'm gonna look it up after this live stream. Thank you, Fortune. Gubat. That's easy to remember. Gubat, Quezon City. Good day, brother, from VA Hustle, Palo Alto. Oh, Palo Alto, California. All right, Michael, Manalastas. Hello, hello. There is a saying, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. True, so true. I've heard that. I've heard that statement, HD. Um, I can see how that happen. I can see how that plays out. It's like that would be impressive if a Filipina can cook. Not all Filipinas can cook now. It's like so that's a bonus if they're a good cook. Women always fall a little bit in love with me when they taste. There you go, there you go, Ray. Right? It's like, especially Ray, if you're cooking some Filipino food, man, that's like, that might attract, a Filipina if you're like cooking a Filipino food. All right, everyone, I'm at the 2-hour mark. That's always kind of like my limit. Dazzle, I heard the AC come on, so Dazzle's awake now. I'll get Leanna out here. We'll have to wash the car and wash Bumblebee this morning. All right, take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I hope everybody has a good week ahead. What would it mean if it's dinuguan? I don't know dinuguan, and I eat it. I eat dinuguan, but I don't cook it because Dazzle doesn't like dinuguan. Liana too, they don't like dinuguan. So I'm the only dinuguan eater here. So I can always get it at the Carinderia if I have a taste. If I have a taste for dinuguan. Dinuguan is the blood. You put blood on the sauce. Meat, usually like organ meat, and then it's cooked in vinegar. I haven't really cooked dinuguan actually. I've eaten it at restaurants, but Dazzle and Liana doesn't like dinuguan, so I normally don't order it because I would be the only one eating it. Have a great day, and I'll look forward for your live stream, Ray, this evening at 6 to 7. I'll keep an eye on it. Love to learn, but the poke thing has a different meaning. I know poke. Daniel, you're crazy. All right, everyone. Please stay blessed. Everyone, take care. See you on the next